know that moment when you have a brilliant idea in the shower, like I'm going to start a new business or I'll run a marathon today. But then just after 5 minutes, you're like, let me just start with breakfast. But what if we didn't talk ourselves out of those situations so fast? What if we actually tried? Happy morning, everyone. I am Rithwik of grade 9. In 1945, two brothers, J.C. Mahindra and K.C. Mahindra, dreamed of creating an Indian company that could stand tall on the global stage. They started by assembling simple utility vehicles with almost zero experience in automobile manufacturing. People doubted them. How can an Indian company be as good as the West? They asked. But the brothers did not listen. And that little venture grew into Mahindra and Mahindra, a company known across the world for innovation, progress, and resilience. We come up with great ideas, wild dreams, and things we have always wanted to do. But then we immediately build a presentation on our head on why we shouldn't do it. We think, what if I fail? What if I lose hope? Or what will others think of me? And just like that, the idea disappears. So let us see a few factors on why this happens. Number one, our comfort zone. Let's accept it. We humans love comfort. We love soft pillows, predictable routines, and not being judged on the internet. But comfortness is sneaky. It pretends to keep us safe, but it really keeps us stuck within our walls. We think we're avoiding risk, but really we're avoiding growth. Because the moment we step outside that comfort zone, that's where all the change happens. That's where we learn, we stretch, and we surprise ourselves. And yes, sometimes we fail spectacularly, but even then, we'll have a good learning. Number two, the human pattern of why bother. Have you ever noticed how quick we are to quit something before we even start? We don't even fail, we pre-fail. But every person who has ever did something crazy started from this exact place of complete uncertainty. When a 19-year-old college dropout named Steve Jobs started building computers in his garage, no one took him seriously. But he didn't wait until everything made sense. He just started. And no one starts ready. People just start and then they become ready along the way. That's how every breakthrough happens. Not through perfection, but through persistence. Also, failure isn't bad. It's just feedback. Scientists know this, so they don't say that experiment failed. Instead, they say that's interesting, so let's try again. Imagine if we all lived like that. Tried something, learned something new out of it, and tried it again. Remember, if success is a tree, then mistakes are the compost. Number three, the ripple effect of belief. Believing in the power of possibility not only changes our own lives, but it also shapes the lives of people around us. Think of Kailash Satyarthi. His belief that every child deserves an education and freedom ignited a spark across the world. It was not just a private hope, it became a public movement. Number four, failing gracefully. Here's something we don't say enough. Failure is hilarious. Not in the moment, but later. Every time we fail, we gain two things, a lesson and a story. And often, the story is much better than the success. So maybe we shouldn't fear failure. We should just collect it as little souvenirs of trying. Because every time we mess up, we're still proving something that we're still in motion. Number five, taking tiny steps. One small step is still a step. We often think big, like I'm going to write a new book, or I'll start a new business, or I'll save the world. And then just the weight of the dream crushes us before we even start. So instead, think smaller. Write one page, build one idea, and help one person. Now, let me talk about the two pillars that govern the power of possibilities, which is resilience and hope. Often, we see life only through our existing lens of what we know, what we fear, and what we expect. But possibility begins when that lens cracks. We see some people who thrive despite hardships, which is not because of luck, but because of resilience. It is the ability to recover, adapt, and keep moving forward. It's less about strength and more about flexibility, that is, bending without breaking. Hope fuels resilience. It's what helps people to get up after a failure or a loss. Here's an example of two persons. One is the author of a story, and the other is the main lead in the story. It is the story of Harry Potter. The author J.K. Rowling was a single mother who was struggling to feed her daughter and was battling depression. Her manuscript got rejected 12 times, but she remained resilient and kept trying, which made her a global figure. Hope is crucial to Harry's victory over Voldemort, as it allows him to persevere and confront the darkness, ultimately finding strength and love in his parents' sacrifice. So the story of J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter reminds us that even in the darkest times, resilience, hope, and courage can change the world. All of us would have personal experiences on anything. In my own life, I've had a few moments that have tested my determination. Once, I was preparing for a guitar competition where nothing seemed to go right. I had very little time for practice, and the notes were much harder for my level. Even my teacher suggested to skip the competition if it was too hard. But I believed myself. So I kept practicing it part by part, and surprisingly, on the day, I didn't just perform it well. I also gained confidence, which I never knew I had. Personal experiences like this teach us that resilience and hope are not some abstract concepts. They are living experiences that anyone can embrace and embody. So what can we take away from all of this? Life is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It is about taking small steps and moving through the path even when it isn't clear. That's the spark of hope, and that's the power of resilience. Life doesn't change when we wait. It changes when we act. It changes when we dare. So start today. Step forward. Try something a little crazy and watch what happens. Thank you.